All aboard!
All right, the little truck. Well, hello, welcome back to Malfunction Junction. I'm Uncle Joe, and I run the Shady Rest Motel. But y'all all know that, I'm sure. You know, last week, we still didn't get the Cannonball Express back on schedule. We filled the water tank, and it sprung a leak. How many of y'all got wet?
Me.
That was a bad decision.
Oh, well, hey, Uncle Joe. You know, last week we had another malfunction here at Malfunction Junction. I think everyone in town got wet when that water tank started leaking.
Yeah, Uncle Joe, did you get it fixed?
I did, and I should never have listened to you, Charlie Smoot. I knew you didn't know anything about water tanks. The water tank now has the correct amount of water in it, so nobody has to be worried about getting wet.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great, but I don't think we are ever going to get the Cannonball Express back on schedule. It's been 10 years, and we still can't get through 1 week without a malfunction here in Malfunction Junction.
That's true. Something goes wrong every single week. Uncle Joe, what were you saying last week about trying to figure out why all these malfunctions happen?
Well, I was just saying that maybe, just maybe, if we stopped and thought about all the malfunctions that have occurred, let's say for the past 8 or 9 weeks, maybe we could determine what the problem is.
That makes sense. And then we can figure out the problem. Maybe we can fix it.
That's a great idea. Let's go back 9 weeks ago. Wasn't that the week that Uncle Joe took the light out of the train engine to put it in the street light?
Oh, I remember that. That was a bad decision. You can't run a train without the light.
And you know, I think after that, Uncle Joe turned the safety arm the wrong way. It was blocking the track.
I remember that too. And that was a bad decision. The safety arm was crossing the track and the train couldn't go through the tunnel.
I think I'm seeing a pattern here. I think it's Uncle Joe. He's the one that's been causing all of the malfunctions here at Malfunction Junction.
Now, wait a minute. I haven't caused all of the problems. Do you remember the next week? The train tunnel caved in and blocked the track. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, and we don't know how that happened.
Well, that's right. And Charlie Smoot, you were the one who caused that because you were looking for gold and set off dynamite in the tunnel.
Now that was a bad decision.
That was the baddest decision.
I told you it wasn't my fault. It's my fault and Charlie Smoot's fault.
And
Now, wait a minute. I seem to remember the next week that it was Floyd Smoot who forgot to attach the caboose to the train engine.
That is true, and that was a bad decision. I remember the engine going down the track all by itself.
And you remember the week after that? Floyd Smoot was also the one who put that railroad spike right on top of the train engine.
You know what? I do remember that. Yes, he was, and that was a bad decision.
somebody set the bank on fire.
The railroad spike fell off and derailed the train. In fact, it took us all week to get it back on the
That's
tracks.
true.
You know what? I think I have just figured out the problem.
I'm sure you have.
It's all of you men that are causing all the problems. Every one of you has caused some malfunction here at Malfunction Junction. You men are the problem.
But now wait just a minute, Betty Joe.
Malfunction too.
Do you remember what happened the next week? The bank caught on fire and the fire trucks came and they blocked the tunnel when they were putting it out.
That's right, and if I recall correctly, Betty Joe, you were the one who insisted that I go into the dark bank with a lighted torch instead of a flashlight.
That's right. That was your idea, Betty Joe. And you know what? That was a bad decision.
Well, everybody makes mistakes, and that was just one for me. Remember the next week, the columns on the bank hadn't been secured back to the bank wall, and Floyd Smoot insisted that they wouldn't fall.
You know, I remember that. The noise from the train engine caused them to fall over onto the train. That was a bad decision.
It was.
You see, I might have made just one mistake, but you men have caused most of the malfunctions here at Malfunction Junction.
However, I seem to remember the next week that the malfunction was caused by a bunch of bubbles up in the water tank. Now, who caused that malfunction?
Uncle Joe is right. Betty Joe, you're the one who decided to wash the laundry in the water tank. That was a bad decision.
Okay, I guess you're right. I shouldn't have done that. But what about last week? We filled the water tank up too full and it sprung a leak.
Yeah, Charlie Smoot, that was your fault. You're the one that told me I could fill it to the top.
Well, I might have said that, but if I remember correctly, Uncle Joe, you were the one who actually filled it, so it was partly your fault for listening to me.
That's true. You know what? That was a bad decision. I guess you could blame both of us for that one.
Or we could blame it on your twin brother, Floyd Smoot. After all, he knew how much water should be put in the tank, so he should have been here to fill it up himself.
You know, where is Floyd Smoot? It's almost time for the Cannonball Express to leave.
I haven't seen him this morning. I'll go see if I can find him.
Oh, I know that he's going to
Well, I just don't have much hope of the Cannonball Express getting back on track this week. We've gone through all the malfunctions here at Malfunction Junction for the past 9 weeks, and we still don't know what's causing them to happen.
You know, that's true. I caused some of the malfunctions. You caused some of the malfunctions. Charlie Smoot caused some of them, and his twin brother Floyd Smoot caused some of them.
But there's got to be some kind of pattern. What could be causing all of these malfunctions here at Malfunction Junction?
I think I know.
Woo!
I have a good feeling about this. I think this is going to be the week that we get the Cannonball Express back on schedule.
Floyd Smoot, how can you say that? If we can't figure out what's been causing all these malfunctions at Malfunction Junction, how can we expect not to have another one?
But we did figure it out. My twin brother, Charlie Smoot, was reminding me about all of the malfunctions that have happened, and we figured out the problem.
What is it?
Well, I think it should be obvious. We've all been making bad decisions. We've been doing things without thinking, and we've been listening to people who don't know what they're doing.
You know, now that you say that, I think you're correct. Every malfunction here at Malfunction Junction has been caused because one of us did something silly.
You know, that's right. Every malfunction was caused by a bad decision. You know what? That reminds me about the Israelites in the books of Joshua and Judges. They just kept on making bad decisions, and every time they did, God would allow them to be defeated by their enemies.
You know, you're right, Uncle Joe. The Israelites continued to make bad decisions and bad choices, and it always caused problems for them. But when they made good decisions and followed God, everything would go well for them.
I see it so clearly now. We've been doing the same thing right here at Malfunction Junction.
All right, so we just need to do everything the right way and not make any bad decisions, and that should allow the Cannonball Express to finally leave and get back on track.
Whew, well, thank goodness we figured it out just in time. It's time for the Cannonball Express to depart. Now, let's remember what we're supposed to do. First, we need to fill the train engine with water from the water tank.
Got it.
Second, we need to start the train and turn on the light.
Yes.
Third, we need to blow the train whistle.
Of course.
Fourth, we need to make sure that the track is clear.
All right.
Fifth, we need to lower the train crossing safety arm. And then sixth, we need to drive the train into the tunnel.
All right, let's do it. I'll lower the water spout.
All right, I'll make sure the water gets in the engine.
Wait, Charlie Smoot wasn't there, so he's probably going to make a malfunction.
All right.
Okay, we're getting water. I think it's
There's
working.
enough.
All right, I think that's good.
All right.
What's next?
Hey, guys.
I'm going to turn on the light.
I'm going to get in here,
Work there for a second.
get ready to start the engine.
You start the engine.
Okay.
Lower the safety arm.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Now it's time for step 3. I'm going to blow the whistle.
Blow it. All right, that sounds good. I'll make sure the track is clear.
Oh, it looks clear to me. I think this is really going to work.
All right, lower the safety
Time to
arm.
lower the safety arm.
It's down. This is really going to work, guys.
Everything is working perfectly. I'll see you all when I get back.
Wait a second. Why did Floyd Smoot stop the train in the middle of the tunnel? What? Can you get out of there?
Well, what's wrong, Floyd Smoot? I mean, why did you stop?
I don't understand it. The train track stops when you go inside the tunnel. What happened to the rest of the track?
What is going on here? What is happening here? Why is the Cannonball Express in the tunnel?
We just got it back on schedule. I mean, this is the first time it's left Malfunction Junction Station in 10 years. Who are you?
Well, this is Sam Drucker. He's the director of the entire railroad. What are you doing here at Malfunction Junction, Director Drucker?
Well, I came to see what was going on. I heard that you were trying to get the Cannonball Express back on schedule.
That's right, and we finally figured out what's been causing all the problems in Malfunction Junction. And we got it back on schedule today.
Woo!
Yes.
Everything worked perfectly, but when I got inside the train tunnel, the track stopped. And I don't know what happened to the tracks.
Well, that's what I came here to tell you. Malfunction Junction has been shut down for the past 5 years.
What?
The train isn't even on the schedule anymore. As a matter of fact, we're pulling up the train track so we can make a new airport. We're going to call it Devastation Station. There's not even any tracks in the tunnel.
Devastation Station? I'm happy about that.
You can't even say that. What's going on
I'm
here?
moving out here.
What are we going to do?
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the track to the junction.
Malfunction Junction.
It's time to make repairs. There's no time to relax at the junction.
Malfunction Junction.
Lots of things break down, and there's trouble all around at the junction.
Malfunction Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Malfunction Junction.
It's a great place to stay. Come and be my guest at the junction.
Malfunction Junction.
I'm Uncle Joe, and I'm moving kind of slow at the junction. Malfunction